We have newly obtained video that the New York Times is reporting as an object exploding near where the plane stopped transmitting a signal. In translation, where they believe the missile hit the plane. This comes after U.S. intelligence sources say that they have evidence from spy satellites that supports the missile strike theory, refuting previous information that from Iran that had tried to blame the crash on a mechanical failure.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about what you just saw, which is allegedly a plane flying out of Tehran, Iran, headed towards Kiev, Ukraine, being shot down out of the sky. Now, if you don't know what's going on, if you need a little bit of a refresher, let me back up a little bit here to explain what's going on and to tell you why this is a story right now today. First of all, we all know about the General Soleimani that was killed via drone strike in Iraq by the U.S. We all know about that. Now, that kind of set off a whole tailspin of different events. The Iranians are threatening us. We're threatening them. The Iranians did respond to the act of their general being killed in Iraq by shooting some missiles at Iraqi air bases where U.S. soldiers were held. Now, according to what I'm reading, the Iranians told us that we're going to strike, evacuate your people. We don't want to kill any Americans. That is what I've been reading all over the place from various sources, and I'll link my sources in the box. So no Americans were hurt. No Americans were killed. Everything's all good as far as them, Iran, attacking us, U.S. Unfortunately, Iraq is caught in the middle, but that's a different story. And for now, I digress. The whole point is that there's been some tension between the U.S. and Iran. Shortly after the Iranians shoot the missiles at the Iraqi air bases, like 4 hours later, a plane takes off from Tehran, Iran, with 176 people on board. Mostly Iranians, some Canadians that are Iranian, you understand, like they are from Iran, but now live in Canada. And there were also some Ukrainians on board. So it takes off, it's headed towards Kiev, Ukraine. And shortly after it takes off, it crashes. Now, the first thing that came out from Iran was that the plane had mechanical problems. I think Ukraine said the same thing, but then they backed off of that. Now we're seeing evidence that it probably was shot down out of the sky, which is, the most likely thing to happen, but it just kind of made sense. 4 hours later, after you shoot missiles at U.S. troops, really at Iraqi air bases, one of your planes gets shot down. It looked like there was a surface to air missile that connected with it, hit it, and it fell. According to the U.S., they saw the Iranians' radar lock onto the plane before it dropped. Trudeau is saying that it appears like the plane was shot down because, remember, there were plenty of Canadian citizens on board. So he's got to say something about it. People are in Canada saying, hey, our family member is gone now. What happened? We see what's happening with Iran. What's the deal? So it looks like the Iranians made a mistake. Now, they have the black boxes, Iran that is. At first, they said they're not going to hand them over to Boeing because they may see Boeing as an American company that may try to blame them or whatever the case may be. But now they're saying they may hand over the black boxes. I'm not sure if that's true or false, or if they're going to alter them before they send them to them, but I digress. The whole point here is that this looks like the plane was shot down out of the sky. Now, I got to say that this video has been unconfirmed. However, even without the video, look at the wreckage of the plane. People were saying, when I say people, I mean aviation experts, they were saying that the plane was heavily fragmented, which means a lot of different pieces of the plane are all over the place. That points to one of two things that could have happened to the plane to make it do that. The first is that the impact with the ground was so catastrophic, was so intense that it made the plane shatter like a piece of glass, basically, or there was an event in the sky. What could the event have been? A suicide bomber, which is not what happened at the airport. That's not really going to be the case. You're not going to get a bomb on a plane unless the government put the bomb there, but that's a different story. The most likely scenario is that the Iranians thought this was an American drone or a fighter plane or a missile, and it came into the Iranian airspace after they sent missiles into Iraq's airspace and hit the bases. They thought it was a retaliation thing, or it could have been some kind of missile defense system. Either way it goes, the plane was most likely shot down by a surface-to-air missile. Rest in peace to all those that passed away. You have 176 people. Everybody on the plane passed. The passengers, the crew, everybody. Nobody survived. Most likely because it was hit with surface-to-air missile. Now, Iran is saying on their state TV that they killed like between 30 and 100 Americans. And by the way, the Pentagon said nobody died in their attacks on the Iraqi air bases. MS-13 or MSDNC said that 30 Americans passed, or 30 Americans could have passed. It's pretty interesting how they want to repeat the Iranian state-run TV's point of view, but I'll move on. The point is that no Americans died according to the Pentagon. Iranian TV said something different, and they're probably going to spin the situation here to be something different as well. I mean, if the people are in the street saying, hey, you got to avenge us, they killed our general, and you do something, but nothing happens, you basically did nothing. And then on top of that, in the same day, you shoot down a plane with a bunch of your own people in it. Very bad. Innocent people, people that were coming to Iran to visit their family on vacation or whatever the case. Very, very bad. This is a tragic situation. People are going to try to blame us. They're going to say, well, if the U.S. wasn't involved with Iran, if they didn't kill their general, then this wouldn't have happened, the whole chain of events. There's been plenty of conflict between the U.S. and Iran for years and years and years. People could say, oh, it's the U.S.'s fault. They could say it's Iran's fault. It doesn't really matter whose fault it is that the conflicts have been happening, quite frankly, because the fact of the matter is that the conflicts have been happening. You know, we've shot planes down by accident. They've shot planes down by accident. We've attacked them on purpose. They've attacked us on purpose. We've done proxy stuff. They've done proxy stuff. It's been a back and forth for a very long time, at least since 1979. So I don't see why anybody would say, oh, because Trump comes into office and he comes in the middle of this, it must be his fault. Because if he didn't do what he did, then this wouldn't have happened. I mean, come on. There's been constant provocation. What if this guy, Soleimani, was allowed to live and then he bombed the embassy and killed Americans inside? You see what I'm saying? Because that is the intelligence that he was going to do that. That's the reason why they took him out. Now, could they be wrong? Of course they could be wrong. They've been wrong before. When I say they, I mean the intelligence community, you know, talking about Iraq, the WMDs, is that and the third. They could be wrong, but maybe they're right. If they were right and he was able to bomb the U.S. embassy and kill the Americans and Iraqis and everybody else, like he killed the contractor, then it would have been a really bad situation. You know, okay, you have him doing this proxy stuff, so it's not them doing it directly on U.S. soil, but it's still bad. We know that he's behind this stuff. So at the end of the day, as I close, there's been constant back and forth between the U.S. and Iran. Hopefully, we bring this stuff to a resolution sometime soon. Sooner than later would be my wish. That'd be my dream for the future between the U.S. and every other nation that's out there, every oil-bearing nation. Hopefully, we're able to have peace and work together harmoniously rather than having all these conflicts, whether it be direct or indirect through proxy. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that this is our fault, that the Iranians shot their own people down out of the sky? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or is it Iran's fault? They were not being careful and then this happened. Or was it as simple as a mistake? Now, I'm sensitive to people and their loss of life. I understand. Like I said, rest in peace to all those that passed away, innocent people. I saw the pilot's mom on TV. It broke me up. You know, she was like, that's my only son. Now I'm all by myself. It was terrible. It was really bad to see the kind of loss of life. However, was it a mistake? Mistakes happen. Not saying it's a good mistake or that Iran should not be held responsible, but I think that it was a mistake. They probably, you know, missile defense system locked onto the plane, thought it was, you know, some aggression going on, and they shot it down. They've shot down planes or things that are like planes before. They shot down a U.S. drone, not once, but twice. Maybe they thought this was another one and they just got it wrong. Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.